Hi guys, welcome to the channel of love. I'll have a quick reading today. Oh, I say that. Okay. The Chakra Wisdom Tarot and the Chakra Wisdom Oracle. But we're going to have like an example. Do a story first. Okay. What was coming through was, let me give you a clue first with this card as to what's going on. So that'll be interesting, won't it? Let's have a clue. It's in blue moon. You saw me standing alone. I would carry on singing, but I don't know the rest of the words. Wisdom. Here's your clue. Okay. So this comes from the fourth chakra, which is the heart chakra, represented here by green. Wisdom, sage. Wisdom is knowing the difference between a calculated risk and stupidity. The legend. One day a young sagebrush asks his grandfather how to grow old with wisdom. The elder answers, we must learn from our mistakes. Before you worry about something, ask yourself if it will be important in the future. Enjoy your present form as we all change with time. So, has somebody learnt from their mistakes? The inspiration, is there some wise counsel that you have sought only to ignore it? Are you trying to do things alone? A solution may come from those more experienced in yourself. Stay in the present moment and do not let your thoughts jump ahead. The personal inquiry, do I go with my heart or against it? Am I willing to live in leadership? The key ideas, wise counsel, focused energy, honouring yourself, contribution, being chosen, contentment and transformation. And the key words are maturity, tranquility, support. The meditation. Imagine yourself as a huge campfire. The great servant approaches and his energy radiates toward you. He speaks to you not with words, but with energy. Allow the wisdom of the message to reach you. When you have received the message, the great servants will depart. When you are ready, come back to your reality. What was his message? I look like I've got a really big bag under my eye here. Oh, my big bag. I was going to say a black eye, but sticking then to the black-eyed peas. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. I'm going to give you another clue. Okay. Confusion. This is from the 7th chakra, which is the crown chakra. Confusion. Silver cloud. Every silver lining has a cloud. Did you hear the whistle then from the platform? So I feel this is like the masculine's energy. Is there some wise counsel that you've sought and then chosen to ignore? Confusion. So the masculine's kind of in his heart. Divine feminine, it's like you're in your head a little bit. Jana climbs Faith Mountain in dense fog, wondering whether her decision to leave her boyfriend was the right one. There is another man waiting in the wings, there always is. Silver cloud surrounds her and it is cold and scary. Despite her confusion, she keeps climbing. As she reaches the summit, the fog clears, revealing the town far below. With Silver Cloud's help, she has journeyed much farther than she realised. She now knows what to do. She begins the long journey home to reclaim her love. The inspiration, through the willingness to be in confusion, we find clarity. There is nothing to solve. Meditation and quiet time will bring clarity. The personal inquiry, can I see confusion as a good thing? Can I learn to let go of needing an immediate outcome? Key ideas, allowing confusion, spiritual support, consequences of actions, and finding love. Keywords, clarity, support, revelation. The meditation, close your eyes and visualize the room you are in. Focus on one object in the room. When you are relaxed, sense the presence of silver cloud. When the object is no longer visible in your mind's eye, relax even more deeply and breathe. You are in the place of not knowing. It is a completely safe environment. Ask for the highest good, and this shall be revealed. So we've got two different energies here. The reason I said the Divine Feminine's energy here, the confusion, is because, well, it says here in brackets, it says Jenna was wondering whether her decision to leave her boyfriend was the right one, but I feel that's kind of like the Divine Masculine. Well, you can say that he is her boyfriend. He's a boy, he's a friend. There is another man waiting in the wings, in brackets, there always is. But after she's journeyed further than what she realised, she returns home. What's it say here? She begins the long journey home to reclaim her love. It's been a long journey. Let's go to these cards here. And we've just been picking up on that energy. Like giving up hope. Doubting. Not doubting. Let's look at these cards. Four of Coins. Let's see that card. Now normally the Four of Coins, he's only got one in his hand. And he's kind of like, he looks a bit uncomfortable. And one balancing on his head and two under his feet here. But he's got the Four of Coins here. Let's read this. Let's read the messages from this book. So if we're going with the cards that I've just pulled, it's about learning. The young sagebrush asks his grandfather, how to become wise, and it's about learning through your mistakes. So Four of Coins. Let's have a look at this. So we're still in the green section here. The fourth chakras. It's referred to as the heart chakra, located heart, element air, colour green, mantra yam, plant Venus. Strongly associated with love, the planet Venus also represents what we like, our tastes and our personal preferences. It indicates that we gravitate towards and value. It indicates that we gravitate toward and value the most. Toward and value the most. Okay. The fours, in the tarot, there is a consistency to the fours, as they are a retreat into our internal self. From the Four of Swords, a card of meditative contemplation, to the Four of Cups, where we will or will not see what we are being offered. Well, we've got the Four of Pentacles. So let's, the Four of Coins. The card of the blocked soul. Asking for help. How do I become wise? He stands alone with his coins, determined to have things his way. Yet, if he releases the past, who can he hold responsible for his future? Can he unlock this fear and open himself to the adventure his heart longs for? The chakra message: allow yourself to let go of what you think of as yours. Observe how you respond. Indication: this card can imply a conditional love, a need to reframe your reality. The glass is half full. Keywords: obstruction, hoarding, feeling stuck, deprived, accumulation, guardedness. Okay, the meditation for this card: take a moment to observe your physical stance at this moment. Drop your shoulders. Can you feel or observe anything you are holding on to? Breathe and imagine throwing it up into the ether so the universe can repurpose it for you. The contemplation: if your calling is to enjoy what you have, be grateful and reinvest in yourself and others. Okay, so let's have a look at this card now. Well, I take it that's how we're doing it. This is how we do it. Hi, Spotty Pony. Hi, Moon Cookie. Hey to the channel of love. Lucy, I'm on the phone with Mr. DM today. It's his birthday. Happy birthday. Having a long convo. I can hear you, but he can't. He can hear me. Can you hear me? That's so lovely, Moon Cookie. Those long convos are just... well, they make up part of it, don't they? The long conversations. Confusion. The 7 of Coins. Let's look at this. So making that long journey home so she can reclaim her love. And then we have the 7 of Coins. He's got 4. She's got 7. Okay. I just thought I'd point that out. Now, I don't know which section this is because I always feel like the third eye... oh, no, the crown chakras is grey in these decks because they're done by the same card maker. That's what I call it. Author. So we've got the 7 of Coins. Let's have a look and see, because this, I believe, is the third eye. Oh no, it's the crown. Okay. So they're not, even though it's done by the same person, Tori Hartman. Tori Hartman. In this deck, she's chosen to keep the crown chakra as this colour. Or in that deck, it's this colour. So, from the heart, connection with spirit here. The 7s. Let's read about the 7s. Well, not let's read. We'll read about the 7th chakra, referred to as the crown chakra, located just above the top of the head. The element is eternity. The colour is violet or white. The mantra: silent contemplation. Planet: Saturn. Saturn is a planet of discipline, lessons, and hard work beyond our 6 senses. It rewards those who toil and makes it painful for those who don't. Saturn brings challenges and roadblocks to those who shirk their responsibilities. Okay. The 7s. In the tarot, the 7s will address finding our place in the universe, whereas the 7th chakra represents universal themes. As the final chakra, they are going to reveal intentions, those for the highest good and those that keep us stuck. They reveal the way we approach decisions, whether we incorporate spirit or overthink ourselves into confusion. Okay, so Divine Feminine is kind of like overthinking ourselves into confusion. It's good to know that we're doing this, isn't it? It's good to know where we stand. Hi Kiri, how are you doing? Okay, let's read what the Seven of Coins is about. Straight away, with the green, the colour's green, I want to say blue, but with the green cards here, it was the first one on this side. And it's the same with this card. The time of financial evolution. Hey, that feels good. That sounds good. You've done all the work, you'll be rewarded. She lovingly appreciates one of her coins, illustrating gratitude for the journey she has taken. Her unspoken message to the universe from her coin collection is to attract more friends. Money will come as love encourages continued growth. So money will come as love encourages continued growth. And like she's taken this long journey home to reclaim her love. The chakra message: who in your ancestry has material prosperity? Manifest an abundance may be what you came here to do. Resistance indicates fear of losing what you have. Indication: something must be removed to make room for the new. There is financial and material gain mixed with healing. Keywords: tenacity, restraint, progress, pondering, relentlessness, crossroads. The meditation: imagine inviting the light from the universe in and ask that money come to you from unexpected sources. Breathe and hold this energy for 27 seconds. Repeat as often as necessary. So let's do this. I don't think we have to hold our breath for 27 seconds. It just says, we'll do this, okay? How do we know when it's 27 seconds? I've got to hold the energy, that's cool. Let's do this, guys. Imagine inviting the light from the universe in and ask that money come to you from unexpected sources. So invite the energy in, the light of the universe in, and ask that money come from you from unexpected sources. And we're going to breathe and hold this energy for 27 seconds. Okay, you got it? Got it. Let's do it. Oh, remember to drop those shoulders. Oh, that feels good. Contemplation, and when I close my eyes, all I can see were these rings. But they're inside of each other. The contemplation. You have attracted money when you intentionally request it. So, you have attracted money when you intentionally requested it. So, like, think back of those moments when you've manifested and you know that you've manifested. How can you turn on the money energy effortlessly? Oh, this is interesting. Right, I feel like we're going somewhere else now with these. Whereabouts do you want me to go? I feel like a book. Okay. How to raise your own salary. That's how, page number 27 is a must. I saw 47 as well. I think it might have been. Was it this one? Oh, it's grief on this one, 47. Wasn't that book? Might have been this one. Oh, I think it was the Four of Coins and I've gone to the wrong book. Maybe not. That's 71. Look at all these page numbers I'm shouting out. How to raise your own salary. $71 for this card. Right, let me just tell you quickly what this book is. So Napoleon Hill is really well known for Think and Grow Rich and the Principles of Success. And it was Andrew Carnegie who asked Napoleon Hill if he could test these principles, like work for 20 years without any pay, but then he has the rights to the philosophy. So Napoleon Hill done that, but Andrew Carnegie kind of told him everything that he needed to know. He just asked Napoleon to go off, and he gave him the introductions. I think the first one was Henry Ford. He lined up all the introductions and everything. So this is the original interview. It's like an unknown book. Before Think and Grow Rich, this is the interview that Adrian Andrew Carnegie had with Napoleon Hill. So let's go to page 71. Right, let's have a look. I've gone a bit too far now. And do you know what the chapter was? Going the extra mile. That's all that is, isn't it? 71. I don't know, I'm raising my voice. Okay. When you can, this is, well, I'm taking to this card because this was the page number for this card. The chapter's called Develop an Attractive Personality. My belly rumbled. I'm just going to pick up where it literally starts with a paragraph here. And it's Andrew Carnegie speaking. Halfway through a sentence, well. Halfway through a conversation. Lucy, just read the... I know. So Andrew Carnegie speaking to Napoleon Hill, and he's saying, when you explain how one clothes that speech with the necessary feeling to make it effective, you will also know a great deal about how one dramatises any speech with depth of feeling and enthusiasm. And just by chance I said, I don't know why I'm shouting. It all goes back to sincerity of purpose and desire. We have no trouble in giving feeling to speech when we believe what we are saying. That's very true. We become very enthusiastic, don't we? Moreover, if we believe what we say and give our words the right amount of feeling, the world is apt to recognise us as having attractive personalities. Okay. Hill. That means Napoleon Hill speaking, okay? Hill. And what is the 19th trait, okay, of a pleasing personality, Mr. Carnegie? Carnegie. Versatility. Capital letters. It is hardly necessary to mention the obvious fact that people who lack a general understanding of the world in which they live, including at least a surface knowledge of human nature, are seldom interesting or attractive. A general interest in things and people is one of the essentials of flexibility of personality, without which one is seldom attractive, except to a very small percentage of those with whom one associates. With books and educational advantages as plentiful as they are in our country, there is little excuse for any person neglecting to inform himself on a great variety of subjects. Every man should have at least a surface acquaintanceship with the vital topics of the day, especially those which are associated with the political and economic fortunes of his own country. A man should have at least a shade more than a surface knowledge of himself, for it is true that the man who understands himself knows a great deal about other people, and he is thereby qualified to make himself attractive to them. The man who really knows himself has little difficulty in knowing others, because he is so much like the others. Hill, according to my count, Mr. Carnegie, you are now about to discuss the 20th trait of a pleasing personality, which is, Carnegie, a genuine fondness for people. Everyone who understands dogs knows that a dog instantly recognises people who do or do not like dogs. Moreover, dogs express their recognition in no uncertain terms. People also recognise, with the slightest association, individuals who like people, and they resent those who have a natural dislike for others, just as definitely as they are attracted to the person who likes people. The law of retribution always operates so that people are judged and dealt with, not alone by their deeds, but by their dominating mental attitudes, through which they express their likes and their dislikes with unerring definiteness. It is inevitable, therefore, that the person who dislikes people will be disliked, although he may never openly express his feelings. Through telepathy, every mind communicates with other minds. Therefore, the person who wishes to have an attractive personality is under the constant necessity of watching not only his deeds, but also his thoughts. Hill. What you have just said, Mr. Carnegie, seems to be closely related to what we commonly call a man's temper. Do you wish to explain your idea of temper? Carnegie. I wouldn't expect very much in the way of achievement of a man who has no temper, because the thing we call temper is nothing but uncontrolled emotion, and emotion under control is one of the most essential of all the powers of the mind. Perhaps the greatest injury an uncontrolled temper does, perhaps the greatest injury an uncontrolled temper does is that which results from an uncontrolled tongue. The person with an uncontrolled temper generally has a tongue that is mounted on ball bearings in the middle, so to speak, and swing loosely at both ends with an edge as sharp as a razor blade, and with no regard for whom it cuts. We have all known of such tongues, but we have never been greatly attracted to the owner of any of them. Most people talk too much and say too little under the most favourable circumstances, but the man with a bad temper and a ball-bearing tongue often talks when he does not intend to do so, and says things that he lives to regret. Such a person obviously does not have an attractive personality. I think we'll leave it there for them. For that? There for them? Yeah, for you to pick up yourself. You can go and purchase this book. 27. That's where we're going. And I think that's 71. 27 we're going to. Let's have a look and see what's on page 27. Hill. Okay. It's interesting because I said this is from the heart. And then this is obviously, I said about your thoughts, your mind. Anyway, use the mastermind principle. That's what I feel we're looking at for this side. Hill, you say that all success of noteworthy proportions is the result of understanding and application of the mastermind principle. Are there not some exceptions to this rule, Mr. Carnegie? Couldn't a man become a great artist, or a great preacher, or a successful salesman without the use of the mastermind principle? Carnegie, the answer to your question, the way you have stated it, is no. It's capitalised. A man might become an artist or a preacher or a salesman without direct application of the mastermind principle, but he could not become great in these fields of endeavour without the aid of this principle. An all-wise providence has so arranged the mechanism of the mind that no single mind is complete. Richness of the mind, in its fullest sense, comes from the harmonious alliance of two or more minds, working together toward the achievement of some definite purpose. There are one-man industries and one-man businesses, but they are not great. And there are individuals who go all the way through life without allying themselves in a spirit of harmony with other minds. But they are not great, and their achievements are meagre. You must include in the philosophy those factors which enable an individual to rise above mediocrity. And I've underlined this. This is what's so I've actually underlined this part here. And we're going to finish under this part. The most important of these factors is and this is where I've underlined, an understanding of the power that is available to the person who blends his mind power with that of other people, thereby giving himself the full benefit of an intangible force which no single mind can ever experience. Okay. We are going to stop there because I think it goes into... It does give you something... No, I'm going to read it. Hi, Cynthia, darling. How are you? Because I'm going to read it because I said, let me give you some examples through some stories. And it's just kind of led us to here. And I saw Christ's name. I thought it spoke about the Declaration of Independence. Because that's mentioned in here. But okay, let's carry on, because Napoleon Hill's asking for some examples. 2 examples. We'll see if we'll read both. Hill, Mr. Carnegie, I've got to get these words out, which means it's coming to the point where I need to like stop reading. But let's carry on. Mr. Carnegie, could you give me 1 or 2 examples of a mastermind alliance in action which I could pass on to my students in the years to come? Carnegie, one form of government is an excellent example of the principle of the mastermind, combining, as it does, the harmonious cooperative effort of both the state and the federal units of government. Under this friendly alliance, we have grown and prospered as no other nation known to civilization has done. This interview would have taken place in, I think, about 1920 something. Well, I mean, copyright 1953, 1981 here. So I'm not sure of the exact year, but in the 20s. Let's carry on. Come over to the window and I will show you. Out there, in the railroad yards, a fine example of the mastermind in action in transportation. Out there you will see a freight train being made ready for its run. You actually can. Get out there. You can see like the train tracks. You can see the trains. The train oh, come on, Luce, you can do this. The train will be in charge of a crew of men who coordinate their efforts in a spirit of harmony. The conductor is the leader of the crew. He can take the train to its destination only because all the other members of the crew recognise and respect his authority and carry out his instructions in a spirit of harmony. What do you suppose would happen to that train if the engineer neglected or refused to obey the conductor's signals? Hill, why, there might be a wreck that would cost lives. Carnegie, exactly so. Well, running a business successfully calls for the application of the same mastermind principle that is so essential in the operation of a railroad train. When there is lack of harmony between those engaged in running a business, the bankruptcy court is not far away. Are you following me in this description? I want you to understand it because it deals with the very heart of all successful achievement in every field of human endeavour. Hill, I understand the mastermind principle, Mr. Carnegie, although I never thought of it as being the sole source of your stupendous achievements in the steel industry and the basis of your huge fortune. Carnegie, oh no, it is not the sole source of my achievements. Other principles, which I shall describe to you later on, have entered into the accumulation of my money and the building of a great steel industry, but they have been of less importance than the mastermind. The principle of second importance to the mastermind is definiteness of purpose, which I have already described. These two principles combined have produced what the world calls a successful industry. Neither of these by itself could have brought success. Look at those hobos down there in that freight car, and you'll see a perfect example of a group of men without either definiteness of purpose or a mastermind. There is also an example of lack of purpose and coordination of effort. If these men would put their heads together, choose a definite purpose, and adopt a definite plan for carrying out their purpose, they might well be the crew that runs that freight train instead of an unfortunate, poverty-stricken group of homeless men. Hill, how is it that these men were never taught the principles of achievement as you are describing them to me? Why have they not discovered the power of the mastermind as you have done? Carnegie, I did not discover the mastermind principle. I appropriated it, took it literally from the Bible. Hill, from the Bible, sir? Why, I never knew the Bible taught the practical philosophy of achievement. In what portion of the Bible did you find the mastermind principle? Carnegie, I found it in the New Testament, in the story of Christ and his 12 disciples. You remember the story, of course. As far as I have been able to learn, Christ was the first person in history who made definite use of the mastermind principle. You recall Christ's unusual power and power of his disciples after he was crucified. It is my theory that Christ's power grew out of his relationship with God and that the power of his disciples grew out of their harmonious alliance with him. He stated a great truth when he said to his followers that they could perform even greater things, for he had discovered that the blending of two or more minds in a spirit of harmony with a definite end in view gives one contact with the power of the universal mind. I call your attention to what happened when Judas Iscariot broke faith with Christ. The breaking of the bond of harmony brought the Master the supreme catastrophe of his life, and for the sake of practical paraphrasing, may I suggest that when the bond of harmony is broken by any cause whatsoever between the members of a mastermind group that operates a business or a home, ruination is just around the corner. Carnegie, oh yes, it can be of practical use in connection with any form of human relationship where cooperation is necessary. Take the home, for example, and observe what happens when a man and his wife and other members of the family put their hearts and heads together and work for the common good of the entire family. Here you will find happiness, contentment, and financial security. You have heard it said that a man's wife can make or break him. Well, it is true, and I'll tell you why. The alliance of a man and a woman in marriage creates the most perfect known form of mastermind, providing the alliance is blended with love, sympathy of understanding, oneness of purpose, and complete harmony. Evidence of this may be found in the fact that one may find the influence of a woman as the major motivating force in the life of practically every distinguished man of achievement down through the ages. Fortunate indeed is the man who is married to a woman who devotes her life to strengthening his own mind power by blending it her own. Let me just reread this part. Fortunate indeed is the man who is married to a woman who devotes her life to strengthening his own mind's power by blending with it her own in a spirit of sympathetic understanding and harmony. That type of wife will never break any man, but she will most likely help him to rise to greater heights of achievement than any he would have known without her help. Let's stop there. That was quite amazing. Let's go to Messages from Heaven. I know, there's one more. 47 was the other page number? Or the other number I said. Let's have a look at this first. Continue to grow by seeking new knowledge. We applaud your efforts. Card number 43. Maybe I'll go to page number 41 to 43 then. Training, lessons, classes, courses and exams. Read, listen and learn. We never stop growing, and even the most educated of us are learning new things every day. Each of us has our own individual skills and abilities. We are all unique. Everyone is good at something, so if you're not sure what your skills are, keep looking. Your loved ones are proud of your efforts to keep learning and growing. They say, we support your continued striving to learn new things. We are proud of your growth. (41) Within. That's where we're starting. That is halfway through a sentence, yeah. Within. Hear that bird outside. Within, and you thereby hide your talents in the darkness of obscurity. On the contrary, listen for the call of this messenger of infinite intelligence. Treat it with civility and understanding when it arrives, and it will hand you the key to the temple of wisdom. Whose doors are locked within your heart and brain. Well, there we go then. Heart. I mean, this has to be like the brain, because we've gone above the third eye. So the heart chakra, and then we have the crown chakra. Both cards. All that is great and good in man and woman comes to be there only through God's gift of love. Keep a fire of romance burning. Let it become an important part of the mastermind ceremony, and your marital relationship will yield priceless returns in both material and spiritual measures. Okay. This chapter is called Use the Mastermind Principle. Hill, from what you have said about the spirit of romance, Mr. Carnegie, I get the impression that it is a great driving force which may be used in the pursuit of a man's calling, as well as in devotion to the object of his affection. Is that the impression you intend to convey? Carnegie, that is precisely what I have been saying, and I have said it because the force that is born of a combination of love and sex is the very elixir of life through which nature expresses all creative effort. Understand this truth, and you will know why a man's greatest use of the mastermind principle is that which grows out of his alliance with the woman of his choice. And you will understand also why it is so essential for a man to keep his relationship with his wife on the plane of romance. Hill, how does one go about kindling this emotional fire which is so powerful? Carnegie, the spirit of romance is born of the combination of the emotions of love and sex. Enthusiasm, driving force, keen interest, and vision are essential for success in any calling, and these states of mind can be produced at will by the person who converts the motives of sex and love, two of the strongest of the 9 basic motives, into an obsessional interest in his occupation. Romance is a blend of the emotions of love and sex. It is a healthy, normal impulse. If it is not degraded by physical desire, it takes drudgery from toil. It raises the thoughts of the most humble worker to the status of genius. It drives away discouragement and replaces it with definiteness of purpose. It transforms poverty into a mighty and irresistible power for achievement. It fires the imagination and forces it to become active and creative. It has been the heart and soul of every outstanding man of achievement who has ever left footprints on the sands of time. Hill, will you now analyse the mastermind principle as it applies to the efforts of an individual in his daily efforts to appropriate his share of American opportunity? Okay, I finished reading. We read Carnegie's answer here. I will now analyse some of the individual uses of this great universal principle as it may be applied in the development of various human relationships contributory to the attainment of one's major purpose in life. Every student of the philosophy of American achievement should recognise the fact that the attainment of his highest aim in life can be reached only by a series of steps, and that every thought he thinks, every transaction in which he engages in relationship with others, every plan he creates, and every mistake he makes has a vital bearing on his ability to attain his chosen goal. One major purpose must be backed up and followed through by continuous effort, the most important part of which consists of the sort of effort that is applied in relationship with other people. With this truth well fixed in the mind, it is not difficult to understand how necessary it is for an individual to be careful in his choice of associates, especially those with whom he comes into close daily contact. Okay, right, how long have we been on for? 49 minutes. I'm going to stretch. Should we just all have a really nice stretch? Oh, that feels good. Beep, 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 beep. Let's have a look at the power of love. What we just had. We just had a little look at the power of love. We were told about it. Self-love. You realise that love of self is necessary to love another. As the old saying goes, You can't love somebody else until you love yourself. It's true. The most important goal you can achieve in this physical dimension is that of loving yourself unconditionally. And it's a tough one. You are the very person who knows your dark secrets, faults and shortcomings the best. It's easy to see the good in other people because you don't know anyone but yourself inside and out. Do you really think that you are the only person you know who is not worthy of your love? Your soul is perfect. Your human shell is imperfect. And so is everyone else's. The quality of love you give out is only as good as the quality of love you have for yourself. So stop shortchanging the world by not loving yourself with the same intensity you do others. You've made mistakes, but you've learned from them. That's what progress and spiritual evolution are all about. Love your weaknesses as much as your strengths, because they are your teachers. Okay, I'm going to pull one more, because I felt that was for the screen side here, wasn't it? Have you learned from your mistakes? Satisfaction. You let the energy of love guide you to self-approval so that others no longer define who you are. But interesting, it's green. Satisfaction. What other people think of you is none of your business. You should never look outside yourself for acceptance or validation, because it sends the message that you don't trust your own soul's worth. When you are in a space of self-acceptance, you confirm to the universe that you are everything you are meant to be, for boys and all. I don't know if you say it like that. In this awareness, you are able to live freely and joyfully because you are not seeking validation through someone or something else. You can live your life and make choices out of love instead of fear. To enter this space, you must have the realization that your soul's makeup is divinely perfect. The limitations you've placed on yourself and your self-criticisms are usually based on giving away your power to another or seeking outside approval. The ego is judgmental and critical and filled with insecurities, while the soul is perfectly at ease and has come back here. I was going to say come back home, and has come back here to enjoy a journey of self-discovery. One of the biggest traps in learning to be satisfied is comparing yourself to others. Remember that you have come back to an earth school made up of myriad souls and experiences. You aren't meant to be like anyone else. Love yourself for being the compassionate, unique person you are. Okay, let's get this wrapped up because my eyes are getting heavy. The sun shines out. It's been raining today. And it's been quite warm still. Okay, Rumi. Time just goes by so quickly. 15-minute reading. A little reading, I said. Let's finish with a Rumi message. Do you know, it feels like a Friday today. This card. I'll read the message. I surge on the uprising wave of love. balance on the bottom, yeah. Okay, number 31. Card number 5. I surge on the uprising wave of love. My life can be summed up in 3 accounts. I was raw, I was cooked, and I was burned. Rumi. I surge on the uprising wave of love. No gravity can stop me from rising. The moon pulls the tide of life towards her, and my soul in oneness with all of life answers her call. A wave of love consumes me, and upwards I fly, flying through water to greet her shining body. Led by my heart, my wits are addled, and my mind becomes a blurry mess, and so I feel instead. I feel the truth of her love and the divine reflection she shines back at me from her radiant heart. Greater forces of planetary movements affect us all. We experience day and night through the interplay of the earth, sun and moon, and this is a profound and obvious effect. The movements of the cosmos affect us deeply, body and soul. Some movements are perhaps less obvious in form, but are just as great, if not more so, in effect upon our spiritual growth and life experiences. You are going through a cycle, or very soon will be, by which you will be moved by forces greater than your own personal will. This is a karmic period, a time during which the movements of greater planetary bodies will have an impact upon the earth and humanity. This is the way of things, greater cycles affecting smaller ones. The smaller ones are not less important, but they do have to bow to the power of the great, in oneness with the magnificent unfolding divinity that is life itself. What we always have at our disposal is choice as to how we respond to these affecting movements and cycles. The effect of this karmic cycle now unfolding in your life is to bring you into sweet surrender and awakening into greater love. What a delicious divine destiny. However, even if we sense at one level that a shift has a positive end in store for us, we can encounter resistance and fear, born of the ego, in response to the stirring of spiritual uprising. We may quake in our holy body and wonder if everything is getting out of control and into some disorder. We will be right in our sense of imminent chaos. The disorder, however, is the ego perspective, because its range of vision is too small, too limited to comprehend the greater workings of the planetary systems that move life towards love. This is as it should be. The teacup is not made to hold the ocean, just actually a cup of tea. It's so funny. A cup of tea. It's got a white mocha in there. So the disorder, however, is the ego perspective, because its range of vision is too small, too limited to comprehend the greater workings of the planetary systems that move life towards love. And that is as it should be. The teacup is not made to hold the ocean, just actually a cup of tea. But if we begin to imagine that the cup of tea is preferable to the ocean simply because it is more containable, how much we miss out on. And how terrifying when we are actually thrown into the ocean and moved by it. Its sheer power, its wild force and its passionate dance with the Moon Mother might have us fearing that we most certainly will die. Yet the only thing that is dying here and now is your grasp, your attempts at control. Why? Because your heart is more powerful than your fear, and it wants to live in total trust and surrender of the unfoldment of life's genius. It wants to let life happen to it. What a wise intention that is. So why seek to impose a smaller and less interesting story upon life when the great master storyteller is waving a fantastic tale of great love, great adventure, and sublime spiritual success? No, it is wiser, wilder, and more fun to surf the great wave of consciousness seeking to overtake you now. Dive in, beloved. Surge with it. You are being given a gift of grace in this oracle. The promise that you won't drown, and that you will, in fact, be given a glimpse of your own divinity, should you choose to accept whatever will be offered to you. Don't try to swim against the tide of your own life journey. Go with it. The divine is there waiting for you, orchestrating waves upon which you may reach the heavenly shore. Yes, the divine is there waiting for you, waiting on a picnic blanket of fabric of the heavens, with a sacred feast of earthly bounty just now being unpacked in your honour. Get yourself into that ocean and ride those waves to your sacred date with the divine right now, sweet beloved. Surf's up. This oracle comes with a message for you. There are changes happening, and they will be out of your control. This is because you are ready for accelerated life change. Rather than paddling, you'll be caught up in a wave and moved farther, faster. Let yourself surge on with the energy of what is happening, leading with your heart, and just going with whatever unfolds. And this will bring you the best fortune and open you up to the divine destiny that is your birthright this lifetime. And we done that meditation, didn't we, where we settled into that manifesting abundance energy for 27 seconds. We're done. That's it. No more to be said today. Okay. I'll catch up with you guys soon. So until then, thank you for joining me. Take care. Have a lovely evening. Much love.